When you're gonna face it, Jay, you're not needed around here. Not needed, not wanted.
Town ain't big enough for the both of us. Is that what you're trying to say, Lex?
I'm saying wise up. You're finished. No job, no prospects, no friends. No point in hanging around.
I appreciate the advice, I really do. But like I said, unfinished business.
What's gonna happen when Ram comes looking for you? Where's he gonna find you? Here. The longer you stay here, the more danger we're all in.
I wouldn't worry about that, Lex. Just do what you normally do. Look after number one.
Welcome to Series 4, Episode 40 of Conversation on Eagle Mountain, a podcast about the tribe. I'm your host, Lance, and joining the podcast panel today is Liz.
Hello.
Sabine.
Hi.
And Tamsin.
Hello.
With episode notes done by Matt and myself. So Series 4, Episode 40. The screenplay was done by Joe Boyle. It was directed by Costa Boats. And the episode synopsis were read out by Sabine.
Java is concerned as Ram's health declines, while the Mallrats see an opportunity to get back at the Technos, but only if Ebony's information can be trusted.
Before we start, I want you guys to think about this for a second. And you don't have to answer right away. You can come back to it at the end of the episode. But something that caught my attention in this episode. This is episode 40 of season 4. And for some reason, while I was watching it, my YouTube was full of recommendations for all of the other seasons' episode 40s. Just interesting coincidence there. And so I could see the thumbnail for every episode, other episode 40. Season 1, we've got Glenn. We've just discovered Glenn has brought the virus into the mall. Season 2, Trudy feeds Lex a rat. That's the same episode where Wolf is lying to Ellie about the Chosen being finished. Season 3, we got Bray pretending to be the Guardian to try and, turn himself in and find out who's kidnapped the girls. Season 5, we got Ellie going into the pain games. Now, obviously, they're not all the same quality when it comes to the plot, but I want you to think about the amount of tension each of those episodes, what was going on in the third act of those seasons, and compare it to this episode. And ask yourself, does the tension work? Are you as committed to this third act as you might have been in one of those other seasons?
Should we just answer that? I don't think it needs a deep deliberation. No. Personally, but panel?
There's nothing here, is there, really? At all. And because when you think about what Liz has just said, there are some amazing character beats as well. It's not just the tension of what is happening, but it's also the work around the character. When you think about Bray pretending to be the Guardian and how desperate he is to get Amber and Trudy back. When you think about Jack and Ellie and that they're playing this essential game on Mega, he doesn't know that they know that he knows that they know that he knows, right? And we're watching it thinking, oh my God, Jack is torturing Ellie. But actually, there's this other stuff going on around it. All of this stuff feels very character orientated. And that, to me, is what I feel we're missing in season 4. The character beat.
Yeah, it's not just in this episode, it's the whole season.
Yeah. And I think so much of the tribe, so much of the tension that is in the tribe is not just from the events that are taking place, but also the way we feel about these characters. We've come to care about these characters, like or dislike them, want to see what happens next. I kind of don't feel any of that with season 4.
No, watching this episode, I kept thinking, okay, I'm supposed to care about this, right? But at some point, I feel like Java. It's like, okay, he might be dying. Let's put on the act that we care.
We will get to that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about this whole episode. Let's act
Java,
like we care about
we will get
this.
to that because we're gonna dive into that. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. No. It sums up so much issues with this season. But yeah.
Those were great answers, class. Thank you for your participation in this thought experiment.
Oh, do we get a participation trophy now? Or a sticker?
I'll make you some for Christmas.
Yay!
Just out of curiosity, what was your thoughts, Liz?
Oh, I think you guys stated them very plainly. That's what caught my eye. I was like, oh, wow, all these other episode 40s are showing up on my rec. And I'm looking at them, and just from the thumbnail and alone, I already knew, like, oh my gosh, I remember that episode and what was going on and how I felt about it. And I was like, interesting that every single one of them, even season 5, managed to make me more invested. Because when you think about it, they're all about the same place. They're all the same episode. It's all the third act. If you want to think of a season as 3-act structure, we're leading up to the climax. This is where this is the part of the disaster movie you have to care if the people survive now, and here I'm like, season 4 seems to be missing all of that. This is the start. I'm like, what are the stakes in this episode? I know what the stakes were in every single one of those other episodes. What had just fallen down on us and how I felt about it. And just, the concern or I don't know. Oh my gosh. And again, they're not all the same length, the same amount of strength, but I cared in each one, and I was like, what are the stakes here? What is happening in this episode? I don't care that Ram is sick. I don't feel anything there. I'm like, is the heist supposed to be the big stakes? Is it that Ebony and Jay have just made up and everything's cool and she's on our side again? What are the stakes, And I was like, that's interesting. I wonder how the others feel about this when you really see them side by side by side by side.
It's a really great point and a great observation.
Hi.
Hi.
You're looking good, May.
You haven't changed, have you?
No. But you have. I remember a time when you, well, let's just say, had feelings for me.
The only person you ever cared about, Lex, was yourself.
No need to be like that, May. I was just worried about you. We all were.
So May is finally up and about again, and Lex's radar immediately clocks that her attitude to him has changed. However, he does make sure to ask if she has seen either Tai-san or Alice. Though she hasn't, May has seen Bray, but she can't tell Lex where, though she carries with her a message from him for Amber. So panel, a few questions within this. Generally, what do you make of the scene between Lex and May? And do you think that the can't tell you line was added because of her reality space trauma? Because it was a secret? Or was it just the writers remaining undecided?
I think I want to just address the scene between Lex and May, first of all. This gave me the ick.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really disliked this. I didn't no. And the way it sort of painted the picture that May was hot for Lex, like they hooked up once. And after that, she was pretty scathing towards him most of their interactions. He tarred and feathered her. And the whole scene was just creepy. He's being really creepy. And it feels like this is a default setting of Lex, that this is like season 1. Really, it gave me the ick when I thought, oh my god, what is this? I was used to him acting like that, but it was just, I can't even articulate properly the ick that I got from it. So somebody help me out here. What did you guys
It was out
think?
of place. It's like you
Yeah.
just said. We've
Mm.
already covered there was a small blip in time when she was attracted to Lex and he was attracted to her. They shared a night, and then he's been antagonistic to her since that night because she stole his boots.
Yeah.
She robbed him. And maybe she kind of still liked him when she came back to the mall and she made a move and he was like, I've fallen in love, so I can't. Sorry. But yeah, it never came up with them again. And as you said, he tarred and feathered her. There's been no flirtation
Mhm.
anywhere on either side for these two characters. So when I
Yeah.
saw this, well, part of me was really happy to see them acting against each other again. And I was glad that May was finally out of bed and we were going to get some work from Laura Wilson. I felt like, what is Lex's motivation? Where did they pluck this guy out of? This doesn't feel like the Lex I've
Mm.
been dealing with the last handful of episodes or most of this season. It felt like, yeah, like he was a factory resetted for some weird reason for the scene, so he could be
Mm.
creepy with May, insinuating a history that wasn't there and has already been resolved between them.
Mm.
It just felt weird. Like, why is he behaving this way towards her? I all for it felt unnecessary when the point of the conversation should be him trying to get information as to who she remembers seeing. Did she run into any of the others when she'd been captured? Like, that's the only thing
Mm.
the emphasis should have been on, so I don't understand what the extra stuff was for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very strange. And it didn't really move anything along
Right.
either. I mean, what did we get from this? We got a scene that basically said that she hadn't seen Tyson and Alice and that she had seen Bray. So Bray's somewhere in the game, possibly. He's somewhere. She's got a message for Amber. But it felt like an unnecessary scene and also a scene that didn't really need to take place between these two characters, really. You didn't need May to tell Lex that she had a message from Bray. That feels like that might have been better if it was maybe Pride or if it was even Celine. But Lex, it just feels pointless. This whole thing felt pointless. And also, how do we feel about where this all sits with Siva as well? Because we've seen Lex act like this a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
He used to act like this when he was with Sandra. He used to act like this when he was with Tyson. And, you know, Siva's out of the room, so he's acting like this with me. But I think the difference between Sandra and Tyson is Siva's given up everything. And she was almost enemy number two behind Jay, wasn't she? You know, if Ram had decided to persecute her, he could have really gone hard
Mm-hmm.
in her, but he just decided to ignore and pretend she didn't exist. So she's just dead to him now. But I don't know. It also makes their relationship, especially if you look at last week when she was like, "Oh, Lexi, so he can be tender and he can be all these things." It just again emphasizes that that is not the case, and she is a fool because this is who he is when she's not in the room. So everything that she told Jay last week that she thinks that Lex is, that's not true because this scene proved that.
I did find it interesting, though, to see that at least they did not just make Lex ask about Tyson. I'm not sure who thought of it to make him ask about Tyson and Alice, because apparently someone remembered that Alex used to exist and they used to be friends. But yeah.
It's just another scene where, for whatever reason, they took a moment with Lex that didn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
creepy and made it creepy on purpose, and you're just like,
Mm,
to what purpose did that serve? When, you know, it reminds me
mm,
of that scene with Chloe when she's changing his bandages. That could have been a good scene,
mm,
you know, between these
Mm-hmm.
two people, and instead, they went for creepy predatory for some reason. And they did the same thing here. And it was like, you already had a better conversation for them to have. You already were prepared to have him ask her about the others. This is the first person who's come back, who was taken during the invasion. That's a valid question for him to ask. It's the first time she's really lucid. And so I'm cool with that. So what was the extra stuff there for? It didn't need to be. You can still make he and May antagonistic without that weird creepiness where he's coming on to, like, why? Why do they do this? Did they think that made it interesting? Were they trying to fluff up the dialogue because there wasn't enough? Then again, I don't know what they were doing with Lex this entire episode. So even Caleb looks like he's just tired of it. We're going to come to a scene where Caleb looks like he's regretting his life choices on this set. And, and it's so sad. It's like, I don't know what you were doing because you had a good conversation they could have been having here without the he's even circling her like a lion. Why? Like, what is the point? As for her saying she's got a message from Bray, at the time, I remember thinking, oh, okay, this is interesting. Maybe we're going to find out some information about what, some of the others who've been taken. Because it's strange that it hadn't been asked yet, that Lex was the first to even consider asking May, have you seen any of the others that were taken? So it's like, okay, finally. Of course, in retrospect, I realized it was just jangling keys to keep you interested in coming back for the next season, in the hopes you'll get some answers. So I don't think they had an answer. There was never a message. It was.
I was so desperate for that answer back then, though.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Hearing her say, "I have a message from Bray," and since they still keep the scene with Bray and Amber in the stupid end titles, my brain just went, "Okay, are we actually getting Bray back? Is that what's happening here? Is he not really gone?"
I always thought they kept those end titles though, because that was the night that Baby Bray was.
Yeah, but
young Damien.
Yeah, but I didn't know that back then. That it was just for that.
Yeah,
like giving that glimmer of hope with, okay, so someone has a message from Bray.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it gets addressed in season 5. It's not like there's ever a scene between May and Amber where she's just like, well, by the way, this is what Bray wanted me to tell you. Never. It's never addressed.
That's what's so frustrating, we don't even get the answer to this.
But I recall someone mentioning that they've seen Bray in it before as well. Don't recall who, but...
Amber seen Bray.
It's Fish. And it's where he's still searching for answers in season 5, and that's when Bray's name comes up again.
Oh, right.
And it's just more jingling keys to make you come back after season 5 that gave you no answers. And you're like, 2 seasons of no answers? I'm not coming back. I'm done.
They're also were they.
I think at that point they have to commit to killing him off. Really. Because they must have known if they were going to get a season 6, then he wasn't going to return.
Well, considering the way
they would have known,
the way season 5 is, you get the sense that they still thought they might get a season 6 because they don't close up a single storyline whatsoever. They're still hoping you'll come back, and somewhere along the way they realized, because I can recall being the fans being left hanging for at least a year before they committed to telling us there wouldn't. It was like 2 years before they said there won't be a season 6. So they were hoping for a season 6, and they were hoping we'd come back. So that's why they jingled all the keys, and you get to the end of season 5 and you're like, not a single one of my questions has been answered for 2 whole years.
Yeah.
And
and then they dangle Casey and Alice.
Yep.
And the Guardian.
Yep.
That's
and they released those images of that tribe, didn't they? That Japanese tribe.
Everything to jangle more keys. That was literally, they had, as they've both actors have said before, they weren't committed to coming back, so they just did it as a one-off. But it was just more key jingles to get us, make us come back. But no, frustrating.
And the message would have been disappointing anyway. Let's just face it. Like, even if they made up a message finally in season 5 or made a pass on, it would have been some generic, disappointing message that any one of us could have.
I would have respected that. I would have absolutely respected that. It's been 40 episodes. At least give a little heartfelt message from Bray to Amber. I would have been happy.
But it wouldn't have been a heartfelt message. It would have been saying that Bray was okay with Amber moving on or something crappy like that. All for the benefit of Jay.
Yeah, but
he wouldn't know the situation though. It was like, it should have been like.
But he might have said just.
Because he's seen Amber. I haven't seen him in the game, so he imagines that she's in there somewhere as well. So the message was to May: if you ever see her, tell her I love her, or keep hanging.
I love her.
Something.
Keep the dream alive, Amber.
You know what I mean? Like something. It would have been nice to know
Yeah, but it would have probably ended like something like "tell her to be happy" or something shitty like that. You know?
But
Nah,
he
they would
probably thinks she's in the game though, because they saw each other in the game apparently. So
just
it
hold
wouldn't
on,
been that.
Amber.
Yeah,
I'm coming home. I'm finding my way back to you.
yeah.
Take care of her baby.
But I mean, even if it had been a message that helped her to move on, surely we're 2 seasons in at this point. A lot of the people, the new fans, wouldn't really have been familiar with the Bray Amber love story, so it kind of would have capped off
Yeah, but it
that,
didn't stop
basically.
him from milking it.
And
I was gonna say,
So
yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
no, I know, yeah. Well, these are the most schizophrenic writers I've ever come across. We're writing all this stuff. Like, they have completely made up this Lex May situation, completely rewritten their relationship to one another. The way that they were with each other in this, they've just retconned everything we knew about them. And they do that continually. They'll just retcon it right in front of you.
Mhm.
They're so schizophrenic. It's insane.
Hmm.
I think the most frustrating thing about this scene, though, is you see how good Caleb and Laura actually are, and they are amazing in this scene. Like, as bad as the dialogue is, and as bad as Lex's, the
Mhm.
character is, Caleb is great in it, and Laura is great in it.
yeah, that's why I was like, I like seeing them in the scene together. It's just a shame what they were given to do.
Mm.
while cleaning up the hospital, Selena's surprised by Pride's growing anger. Discussing the potential for further attacks when the hospital is back on its feet, she suggests they move it to the mall to be less conspicuous.
You're saying we do nothing?
I'm saying we should change the base of our operation to the mall. We'll be less conspicuous, less of a target. They probably won't even know we're there.
Yeah, go ahead, panel.
So this makes actually no logical sense, because we know that the mall is essentially the heart of the city. Everybody knows where the mall is now. They put a big target on their back. People will know where the mall is. People literally have gathered around the mall in the past.
Mhm.
Like, it's been some sort of homing beacon. People know where the mall is. And this place's already been turned over once.
Mhm.
So why would you encourage that into your home? It's like, if you can't use this film and location anymore, just kill this side plot, right? Yeah?
But, and that
Don't do this!
and then the whole idiocy of just going for the oh yeah, we only just came up with this, we're gonna do this now.
Oh my gosh.
Even though there was a hospital wing, a maternity ward in the bloody mall. Celine was in it.
It's not like they haven't
Yeah,
made the
I
mall
know.
a courthouse, a marketplace, a
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Using the word conspicuous for the mall, like that. I don't mind her saying we'll move it to the mall. It just makes sense. We don't have to travel across the city. Even if she had said everybody knows where the mall is, we never lock our doors. You know what I mean? People wander in and out of our home at all hours every day. So why not move it over there? I mean, at this point, there's no. I'd respect if she was just like, there's no point in not trying to draw attention to ourselves. You know what I mean? And we can better
Mm.
keep an eye on people who have to stay overnight. But to act like it'll be a secret place that nobody knows about. Like, who are you talking to? Are you serious? Like, who doesn't know where the freaking mall is? I can't even think of a less conspicuous place in the city than the mall, except maybe the hotel. Like, that's it.
Madness.
Yeah, it is. No, it really is madness. We've entered mad
And
territory here.
Mhm.
it's like you guys have all said for quite a while now. It just makes Celine as city leader look so bad. Like,
Yeah. She's
And she
awful. She
deserves so
can't.
much
and
better
she
than this.
deserves better. Yeah.
Even Celine deserves better. If I look back at previous seasons, I can't believe we're saying, yeah, Celine deserves better, but she does.
It's one of those moments where you expect someone to look at the camera and just like break the fourth wall. Like it's a private joke between them and the audience that, come on, everybody knows where the mall is. This is not going to be a secret location that's going to keep anybody safe, right?
But it's like, it's ground zero as well for the virus, isn't it? And so, the state of those hospitals is going to be really, really bad. And yet we're going to try and go in there and turn it into a new thing. And we're going to be the whole thing, like, you should have just done it in the mall from the start. We didn't need this second location.
They wanted to feel more official, I suppose. But I mean, I would have accepted,
Yeah.
explaining why you hadn't chosen the mall in the first place. But now you realize it's probably the better idea because you can watch over the place, so like you could have had Celine say, at first I thought it would be better to have the hospital in neutral ground, and because the tribes, we all have history and we have biases towards each other, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm realizing that we can't secure this place because it's across town. We can't really stay here and live here and make sure we get, at least at the mall, there's less chance of it being robbed because we're always there or whatever, something, you know what I mean? But no, to be like, yeah, we can go someplace secret. And it's like, why the mall then? Like, that's the least secret place in this entire city. Ah,
Where Technos just walk in and out continuously.
everybody. You guys don't even
Mm.
have doors anymore, anywhere.
No, I mean, Pride's just got a bit of beaded curtain.
Ah, my goodness.
But going back to because I mentioned Pride, let's open that store again. I didn't really feel he was acting any different than he has since we've started this season with his erratic behaviour and him sort of flying off the handle every 5 minutes. Did anybody else feel the
Yeah,
shift
me too.
that we were meant
I
to
felt the same
feel?
way. I was just like, he's been this way. Like, he's been this very moody elastic of a person since the season started, that him being, I guess, a little more because of his addiction doesn't stand out very well. And I don't know why Celine is even remotely still confused at his mood swings at this point in time.
Yeah. They're not getting that across. Like this change in Pride. I'm not seeing it. You're not
Nope.
seeing it. You seen it, Sabine?
Nope.
Have you seen it, Lance?
Nope.
No. No.
I
He's
only
just
see the.
himself.
It's like I only see this change when I compare it to the first 4 or 5 episodes with Pride we ever had.
Yeah. Well, then it's like a completely different character.
Yeah, but with how he's been lately, nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they abandoned that version of Pride way back in season 3.
Mm-hmm. When he cut his hair.
I just still can't believe they think it was the Technos who trashed the hospital.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, it's clearly the red and blues, isn't it? I mean, why do they think it's the Technos? Why would the Technos bother?
Why would they waste the medical supplies they gave to them?
This is what happens when you think you're the main character. You're not. You're not the main character.
You never will be.
Ooh.
I mean, you should have been. You should have been, but you sadly never will be.
Can you find out more about this?
I can try. What have you got in mind?
What you saw us doing back there? A medical center, here in the mall. And we even got a packet of plasters between us.
A heist? With the supply truck?
Why not? They hit the hospital hard enough.
I like it. I want in on it. What? The others?
We'll have to put it to them.
Then the sooner the better.
Meanwhile, Java restricts access to Ram when his illness gets worse, ordering more medical supplies. Ebony overhears and tells Jay, having reconciled with him, and Jay plans to intercept the supplies to restock the hospital. The Mallrats, however, are suspicious of Ebony's involvement and disagree about whether they should go through with it. So yeah, how did you react to Java's flip-flopping concern over Ram and the Mallrats' deliberation over Ebony's information?
Java seems to show herself as a concerned wife towards others. She seems to be caring more about that the other Technos will see that she did everything for Ram, more than actually caring about him. And as for, yeah, because she keeps switching back and forth. But
You can kind of see I mean, look, now, am I going to give the benefit of the doubt here? I need to make up my mind. Okay, I think I am. I think the situation with Jarvis is really confusing because they've never fixed on, and this is something you've brought up quite a bit, Liz. They've never fixed on how she actually feels about Ram. Is she on the level? Does she actually care about him? Or is she just a player? We don't know. The writers don't seem to know either. But to give her the benefit of the doubt, she doesn't she fits into the techno sort of hierarchy as Ram's wife, but without him, would she be surplus to requirements? Because she's really concerned about Ved knowing that Ram is ill. And is that because she will be on the outside? And I wonder if some of this is about protecting her status for her saying, like you said, Sabine, she's playing, a concerned wife, but really she actually doesn't know what to do to keep him alive. So she's trying to keep him alive because she tries to give him the mission, but at the same time she's also playing this grieving person, and she makes a point of saying, remember, you saw me like this in tears at the side of his bed begging for him to live, to that techno that comes in. And I think it's her trying to, if Ram does die, to bolster her position.
It's a shame. I think it's actually really a waste of a great performance, a nice nuanced performance, because Java's storyline doesn't make an ounce of sense really in the grand scheme of things. I think we lose out on what it's Megan, right? Megan is the one playing Java.
Yeah, Megan.
Okay, thank you. I think you end up losing sight of what she is doing with this performance. When she is alone with Ram, there's no doubt that she cares about keeping this guy alive. To what end, we may not know. There are a lot of reasons she might want to keep him alive. And she does show genuine concern for him. The only one of his wives who ever has shown genuine concern for him, and puts up with his tantrums and stuff, and yet still keeps coming back. And that there's so much you can read into why she's willing to still be here next to him when she's not living a leisurely life as a techno. She's always working. Ebony was filing her nails, and Siva was chilling poolside when she wasn't rubbing Ram's shoulders. Java's actually working all the time. So again, you could read into the fact that she does care about being by his side. She does care about him. She's willing to put in the work. But you could also say that she likes being next to the power, whatever. But because her story is so messy, that you lose that subtlety in how she shows care when it's just the two of them. There's no one watching. No one can see that. I mean, if she didn't care, she could put him in the ground. But she exaggerates her care when someone is watching, and again, there could be reasons for that too, but none of it really matters because her story is hot garbage. And I just feel it's such a shame because I really enjoyed her performance in this episode, and but it's to no purpose that she's giving such a good performance. And it's almost like Megan was told, okay, you're the one wife Ram has that loves him. And the script doesn't say that, but she's playing it that way. In the same way Ned played it as someone who genuinely loved Alice, but the way the script wrote him, you were like, this guy's a douche to her. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the actor believes one thing about the character, but the script is telling you something entirely different about the character, and they're at odds with each other, And it's like, it's just sad. It's sad, and it's a waste because I thought she was great,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it doesn't matter that she's doing such a great job with this, because her story is nonsense.
And touching on the Ebony information question as well, I'm going to say, why would they trust her? She has sold them she's sold them out more times than you can count. And why would this be any different? In fact, this might be a bit fishier because you're like, well, Jay's sniffing around now. Ebony and Jay are like glued to each other. They've
Mhm.
just been banging in Amber and Bray's bedroom. We know because there's a beaded curtain, so we all heard it.
Oh God.
And like, why would you trust her? Why would you trust anything that comes out of her face? The disgusted look that she gives when they like don't trust her. Like, for God's sake, these people are quite thick, but they're not that thick, Ebony.
I just wanted one person to ask, like, so we're supposed to trust her because you two made up? She married the guy because she thought you were cheating on her. Like, I just wanted
Mhm.
someone to ask, okay,
Mm.
so why did you marry Ram? Like, what made you change your mind? You just showed up here yesterday, and now you and Jay are sitting here hitting us with this great idea, quote unquote, that really
Mhm.
conveniently
Yeah.
puts us all in danger, it's like that's what I'd want to know. I'd be like, what happened between you two? I mean, Jay, you were literally just telling us 2 days ago you couldn't go to Ebony for the help we needed because you two weren't on speaking terms. What changed? You guys are gonna have to come clean on whatever the frick has been going on with the two of you. Just because all of a sudden it's like you two are on good grounds and we're supposed to all play happy families with you now. Like, but it never comes up, and it's just, and yes, her audacity, the whole grain gluten-free audacity of her to be offended and like, we don't trust you. Why should we trust you? And she's sitting here having the nerve to try to give speeches again. Girl, get out of my mall. Okay,
Yeah.
who let you
Mhm.
sleep over
Yeah.
last night? Right? And
Yeah,
even
exactly.
Jay too,
Exactly.
his face. He looks at the Mallrats like, I can't believe you guys. And it's like, Jay, please explain to us why you're even talking to her right now. What changed? What the frick changed between you two? Because 2 weeks ago, you guys came to us together and you said you were leaving the Technos. You both were done with the Technos. Then all of a sudden, she's marrying Ram and you two aren't talking anymore. Okay. And then you guys have a sleepover and everything's cool. What the frick don't we know? Because if she's willing to ditch everybody and marry the villain of our story, because she's mad at you. What happens the next time you mess up, buddy boy? Like, why should we trust this? Are you crazy?
Yeah, it just it boggles the mind, really, doesn't it? And
Yep.
the thing is, what also makes it really frustrating is you had three characters there that would be really good to have put that point that you guys have made across, which is Siva, who also was married to Ram and kind of had some idea of the inner workings of Ram and Ebony's courtship, let's say. They weren't there for the marriage, but she was there for the bits where he was trying to flirt with her and she was trying to get everything she wanted. So she she saw that. You've also got Lex, who never misses an opportunity to, say when somebody is like wrong. And then you've got Pride as well. And they, like, Siva just stood there. She said nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Yeah, there wasn't an ounce of nuance to this conversation, and it makes you feel like you're taking crazy pills. The only thing I liked about it is
Yeah.
you guys know I love when a group of characters discuss why or not, why they're going to do something or why not they're going to, why they're not going
Mhm.
to do
Yeah.
it. I will always enjoy and appreciate a conversation where they talk out the points, the pros, the cons, what are we going to do, why we're going to do it, why we're not going to do it, all that jazz. So I did appreciate that. But I was like, there's so much more that to just get to the point, because I don't know what they do. They want the audience to feel like we should trust her because we know, it doesn't matter that we know why Ebony married Ram because she thought Jay had betrayed her. That doesn't make her any more trustworthy. It doesn't matter that we, the audience, know that she really did hear Java say this and she's telling the truth. It's still ridiculous that she and Jay think she can just say this and everyone should be on board with it. Like it's just nuts. Stop talking to us like we're idiots.
Yeah, because the laundry list of things that Ebony has done to the Mallrats as to why they would not trust her as far as they could throw her is so ridiculously long that just even engaging in this conversation makes them all look like morons.
Mhm.
Even to just humor her into allowing her to speak to them about this plan is just like, no, because you could not trust it. We cannot trust you. Do you want the list of things you have done? But yeah, it does. It's so frustrating because, look, I know that this is pitched at a slightly younger audience, But how young are we talking, right? That they have no memory of events, you know?
They used to treat their young audience like they could think. And they challenged their young audience to think critically about what they were taking in. Now, I don't think they want their young audience to even be able to talk.
Oh, we're talking under fives, you know?
I've met more discerning 3-year-olds at this point.
Why? Yeah.
A 5-year-old would have gone, but why would they trust her? She's evil.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Self-preservation. They have no self-preservation. That's the thing. The Mallrats have got no self-preservation. They allow this to go like, oh my god.
Yeah, but they never had.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm going to give
It's a wonder they're all still alive.
I am going to give kudos to Dee for coming up with the pragmatic solution of recognizing that.
Yeah, thank God
Yeah,
she's
like
there.
if this is a positive for us, we don't want to lose this opportunity. So this is what we should do. We should just scout, and see if the truck shows up, Ebony was telling us the truth. If it doesn't, she was lying, and we know that. And we don't risk anything. And then I like the ensuing conversation after Dee's suggestion.
Yeah.
I like how they break down how are we supposed to, plan something so quickly. We won't have much time. Where we're going to find the people, because we're going to have to be watching 2 different roads, on and on. So I was like, I really, really liked the conversation after Dee jumped in with, a logical, well thought out, this is what we should do. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's like there's so much more that could have been said at that table that would have been far more straightforward and to the point than the crap they were slinging back and forth.
It also makes sense that Dee is the one that comes up with that logical choice, that logical option, because she's the one who's had the least dealings with Ebony. So it makes sense that she's got an open enough mind to suggest the logical alternative, which is, well, let's see what happens.
It's more like Dee is just the most pragmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we still don't know what really motivates Dee, but she is a pragmatic person. And, she just sees things as they are and is like, this is the world and this is how we have to navigate it, and doesn't spend a lot of time dabbling in BS,
Plus, Dee used to be under Maz's leadership. She might know a thing or two about how crappy certain people can be.
Dee is like the definition of 2 things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like inside Dee's head, she's looking at this like, yeah, Ebony isn't trustworthy, but that doesn't mean she isn't capable of telling the truth. Sometimes, like it can be true. You guys are right. You don't have to trust her, but she could be right about this. For whatever reason, she could be on our side today because I know people like her.
Yeah. The moon's right today, people.
Especially if it's to her advantage. I mean, that is one thing we do know about Ebony. She's totally willing to do the right thing if it benefits her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if today she doesn't want to play with Ram anymore,
Exactly.
well, this benefits her.
And yeah, I would have just liked hearing a little bit more, thought process about that. Like, okay, so this is what we know about Ebony as a person. But yeah, I just really wish someone had, like, when Jay is sitting there looking at them shocked that they haven't made up with Ebony the way he has. Someone did just say to him, like, dude, you're going to have to explain to us why we should suddenly trust her. What the heck happened between you two? Because yesterday she was married to your boss. Okay. What's going on?
Yeah, plus you didn't want to stay in a mall because you were putting us all in danger. And now you're bringing her in?
Having decided to go ahead once they have proof of the supply truck's existence, the Mallrats set an ambush with help from Ginny and the unscanned hospital patients, as well as an unexpected arrival of May. And despite Pride jumping the gun, the heist is a success. So yeah, just generally, what do you think of the plan and May's involvement?
Am I the only one confused by May's involvement?
Yeah, I was totally confused. It's like she teleported there.
I didn't know what purpose it served. Like, what story point were they trying to show us with her being there and then having this mock fight with Pride and then being like, save it for the game, big boy. Like, what was she there for? Like, we don't see her take anyone out. Like, I just don't know the point of it was, did they just want her in another scene? Which, hey, I get it. It's Laura. She's awesome. But what point did it serve to have her pop out of nowhere and have that weird thing with Pride? Like, I don't know why that's there. It's weird.
Is it just so that we know that they both now know that they are addicts because of how they reacted to each other and them talking about the game, and that she now knows that Pride is as big an addict that she is? Was that
I
all it was?
If that's what it was, I do think this is the weirdest way to do an economy of scenes. Because yeah, I get that sometimes. It's like, okay, we can do one scene to cover a lot of things, you know. But this was the
Yeah.
weirdest way to get that, like, oh, we'll use the scene to take care of that too. Like, you could have done that in the mall. It's just weird that this is where you chose to do it.
Mm. And the other question I have to ask is, so we're going to move on to this question in a bit, which is about Lex, but was he meant to have seen that interaction as well?
See, Lex already knows that Pride's an addict, so it's weird. It's just so weird. It's a weird scene.
It's another weird May scene.
Why? Why? Like, what is this purpose to serve? I mean, it's already obvious to the others. Okay, so Pride already knows that May is still got issues with the game. I mean, she's literally sitting in a hospital bed talking to talking to her game mates, her teammates. Like, she's still in the game, you know? And so it's very
Yeah.
obvious she still is. So you don't need the scene to let Pride know that. And it's like, if what makes May suspect that Pride might be addicted to the game, and so her way of figuring it out is to show up at the ambush with her headband on and put her Perdukes to see if he'll fight. Like, what? What is the logic here? Like, I don't understand this scene. This part of the scene is so
Yeah.
confusing to me. Like, what are we going for here?
Yeah, it's not clear at all. The motivations.
I just feel like there was a more subtle way to show that, let May know that Pride is just as addicted to the game as she is. I mean, she steals the headband from a little kid on the street. Now, what if she came into the mall with that on her head and Pride was triggered just by seeing it on her head,
Mm,
and then that lets May know, oh, I got a fellow addict here. Cute, I just feel like there was a better
mm.
way to have this silent conversation between these two, and not at the ambush where she just pops out of nowhere. Like, why? Weird.
So yeah, after witnessing Pride's erratic behavior, Lex realizes he has become addicted to reality space and offers to help.
How long you reckon before Celine finds out about it? How long before you admit it to yourself?
What are you talking about?
Reality space addiction.
Get out of here.
It eats you up, I know. You just want more and more.
You're on the wrong tack, Lex.
I can help you. I know what it's like.
I don't need help.
Yeah, what'd you make of that scene?
I hate to say it, okay? And Nick, if you're out there, I apologize, but Caleb's acting was completely wasted on you in this short scene. And Caleb, this is the scene I'm talking about where if you look at Caleb's face, he looks like, what have I done with my life that I'm here doing this scene with this person? I think in a better story, like Lex confronting someone else on their addiction could be great. And Caleb is acting it very well. But in this story, it's like, who freaking cares? And Nick's performance is not good. And it feels like another wasted scene, in a story where it just doesn't really fit. Like I said, these guys' performances are just all over the place. Lex has been all over the place this episode. I don't know what is driving Lex in this episode, or any episode, to be honest. I really don't. But it so like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, him getting super serious and sincere with somebody out of the blue in this moment, like, where did this come from? I mean, Caleb, your performance is great, but what is motivating Lex to even approach Pride about this? Like, Nothing is character driven in this season. These
They're
are the
not. They don't have this sort of relationship, do they?
No.
Where Lex would even try to help Pride.
why? And again, why here of all places? Like, why is the ambush scene where we're trying to cover
Yeah.
all of these points? Like, why here? This is a weird place.
The writing, though, for Lex this whole episode has been really strange.
Yeah.
You know, the way he acted with May was very season 1 coded. The way he responded to Jay when they were having that round table was very season 1 coded. I think they're trying to pull here from like maybe season 2 after he's got his addiction phase and he's on you know he's with Tyson and things like that, and but like he's all over the shop. There's no consistency at all, and like you say, you can literally see the actor, the eyes, the dead behind the eyes, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think you can say Pride is maybe, and I'm going to be really mean now, I think he's 15% worse because of the performance Nick decides to give with him, because he blows up immediately and there's no sort of nuance to his performance. He just explodes in sort of volcanic rage when somebody says, "Can you please pass me the sugar?" And then you're meant to think, you know, that there's some sort of personality change with him since he's been acting this way since series 4. And I have to say, some of the stuff that I think I've read in the past was maybe he didn't want to be in this season, and I'm just like, let people go if they don't want to be in it, you know.
If that was true, I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
be surprised.
I think it is true. I think I definitely came across something where, yeah, he was satisfied with it, and
well, I don't blame him. His writing is atrocious.
For some reason, I just don't get why people are always stuck on, you know, Trudy's frantic behavior and her giant moon swings,
yeah,
and never about him.
I know. Pride deserves the crown for drama king.
let's be honest though, the misogyny in a lot of the like, it's not just the Tribe fandom. You know, I'm in the Neighbours fandom and things like that. The misogyny, the internalized misogyny that a lot of the female audience have towards female characters.
Yeah.
And you get you know, people writing things like, "Oh, he deserves so much better," or things like that, and you're like, no, nobody actually, like, nobody deserves anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's this internal, and also the writing picks on Trudy. It highlights the fact that she does these things. And with Pride, we're told that, you know, this is so out of character for him to act like this. Yet, in fact, it is not out of character for him to act like this. He was acting like this before he ever had a taste of reality space.
Yeah.
It was just the way he was acting was driven by Amber, or it was driven by him wanting to get rid of the Technos and hating technology. So the cause was something different, but the effect, the way he has reacted, has always been.
It's always been like this, and they just say, "Oh, but yeah, the poor boy, he was addicted to reality space," or, "Oh no, but Amber was missing."
Yeah, it's excuse.
Trudy was actually brainwashed, postpartum depression.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, her child was kidnapped. She was kidnapped. Yeah, she gets no. Yeah, but she gets no relief from people's judgment about it whatsoever, and Pride just seems to get a free pass.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
Female characters are judged more harshly than male characters. And, you know, that does have a lot to do with the misogyny in our society. I just think it's a shame because we have seen this kind of behavior done well, and we don't have to go that far back to see it. Go back to season 3 and watch Ned's performance as somebody who is hiding secrets, on edge all the time, that what he's trying to build is about to fall apart because he did a terrible thing. trying to take a shortcut to get to his happy ending. Watch the way Ned flutters between like being very sweet to Alice and agitated at his siblings and blowing up at anybody questioning to him too much. It works much better. Now, I'm not saying that Ned
Mm-hmm.
is a great character,
Yeah.
but the performance was fantastic for Ned.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think it's like if you want an idea of how someone actually behaves when they're that on edge and it's like they're chewing glass. Obviously, for Ned, there were very different
Yeah.
reasons for it, but the behavior is similar. Where out of the blue, they're blowing up at you, you know, and you're just like, where the hell did that come from? What did I do? You know, and then of course they come back and act all sweetness and light, like everything's fine, but
Yeah.
that's someone spiraling out of control and trying to hold it together. There's subtlety, there's nuances, there's a building of it, you know, you can see it and then poof, you know, and but this performance going on with Nick, that's been happening the entirety of season 4, and it's like you want
Yeah.
to blame reality space for this behavior? This is just him in season 4 apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've spoken about Ned, and I mean, I think so much of the reason why Ned works is because of Bevan. Bevan makes Ned work, and like you say, a lot of what he does is probably not on the page, but he elevates. When you see him in scenes, when we went back to watch season 3, you know, I'd always written Ned off completely as a character, but the actor is doing, like, he is amazing, and it just makes you wonder, like, this is crazy, but it just makes you wonder if they had switched those actors around and Nick had played Ned and Bevan had played Pride, the sort of Pride we might have got.
Interesting.
But yeah, we are where we are. And I mean, the thing is, it's not just the misogyny in the tribe, is it? It's also the fat phobia. So there was no way that you were going to get Bevan cast as Pride, who is this, you know, you just weren't going to get it. He was going to be the bumbling, that's what you were going to get. And it's such a shame because I think he'd have killed it.
As for the last question, did the Technos not get the message that Jay has defected? I don't think they're ever given that message. I don't think the other Technos are ever told that Jay quit, even though they're hunting him down in the streets and he's public enemy number 1. I don't think the Technos ever put it together that Jay isn't on their side anymore. Like, I mean, it does.
Well, it might help.
It doesn't hurt that he's still wearing their uniform, but it's funny.
That's what I was going to say. If he took off the uniform, might help.
I don't think it ever is stated to them that Jay quit. Like they treat whatever's going on with Jay as just a private like fight he's having with the boss. And you know, when they're ordered to chase him down, they will. But otherwise, they're just like, I don't know what's going on between Ram and the general, but it's not my business.
Must be that Ebony chick. Must be about that Ebony chick.
It is terrifying though that they all wear these headsets, but yet none of them are ever across anything that's
No
happening.
communication at all. Yeah.
I mean,
well, remember the communicators never came back into play. It was such a plot point for the Act 1, and it's never come back into play ever.
But like, do they not do a newsletter? I mean, I work for quite a big organisation in real life, and we get a newsletter on what's going on in other departments.
Oh my
gosh! At the very least, they would have gotten an email.
Exactly. They not do round robin. Here's who's out today. Here's who's in. We've had a corporate restructuring. You know,
or at least a city net broadcast.
And I also, I'm too, just like you, Lance, I'm wondering about this surplus medicine that's being trucked into the city. And I'm just like, okay, where did that come from? And if Ram needs it, why isn't it already here? Like, where is this being trucked in from? I'm not saying that they're manufacturing it. I don't think they are. I think it's just surplus medicine they've collected, you know. But why wasn't it already here? Like, why did it have to be brought in to the city? And I also think some of it is just funny that despite being with this person for so long, Java has no idea what pills he even takes. And the worst part about all of this, they're trying to raise this tension, and none of this is going to matter because Ram isn't actually sick. He's going to be cured with tough love.
It's brilliant. It's
Ram
brilliant.
just needs a
Also,
daddy who's going to be firm but kind with him. That's all Ram actually needed, and he'll be fine. He won't have so much as a sneeze or a rash, and he's going to learn to walk again. So all of this means nothing. It's sickening.
Slade is just going to lay his hands
It's
on
ac-
him and then he's going to walk.
It's actually crazy when you compare this to season 5. It's like
It really is. It is. Yeah, but
sickness
this guy was
gone,
like a fever
able to
dream.
walk again. It's like, oh,
I mean, it's just nuts. I'm like, this whole third act hinges. You got to think about this. This is the third act of the season, and it hinges
Mm.
on Ram being so sick that he might be dying, and his own people don't know how to keep him alive. And of course, they can't let anyone know because they lose control of the city. And this is giving our rebels, our protagonists, a chance to get a leg up. The whole third act hinges on this, and it didn't freaking matter because there was nothing wrong with this guy, and it will never be explained.
Honestly.
It's the biggest insult I think the show has ever given us, and it's a lot of insults in this season, but that one is going to be the biggest kick to the face. Season 5 is gonna tell you season 4 was nothing but a dream. I'm like, not all of the third acts of a season are great. Season 3, we all agree, it's not a great third act. It's got a heavy
No.
ass, and there's way too much in there, and it's unfocused, and
Yeah.
it seems like it drags on forever. But at least it had consequences. There are consequences to the third act of season 3, And I'm just like, there are no real consequences to the third act of this season.
See, I'm not sure if there are consequences to the third act of season 3 because most of it gets rewound
Well,
in favour of making Ebony a victim.
I think the major consequence is Bray and Amber getting kicked out of the city.
But then we kind of rewind that, don't we? And we don't touch on that in season 4.
No, but at least
And we don't really touch on that in season 5.
Well, then again, you have to remember season 4 had to get rid of half the cast, and
Mhm.
there's probably just
Yeah.
a lot they couldn't touch on anyway, So, but I still feel like there are more consequences going into season 4 from season 3, compared to this third act of season 4. It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
It's frustrating because when you say about the consequences of season 3, there was so much set up for season 4 to be explosive. Not only would you have been dealing with the fallout with Ebony for what she did to Amber and Bray, you're also dealing with an invading tribe, shifting allegiances, people we never knew having secret siblings. I mean, the board is set up to be fascinating, interesting, take our characters in directions we never thought of before. But instead of that, we get this.
all right. That brings us to our final thoughts of the episode.
I don't understand.
Said you were a medic, didn't you?
I was exaggerating. I'm more what you'd call an enthusiast.
Patch, is it? I hope not, Patch, for your sake.
I don't quite follow.
I want you to save Ram's life.
And tells him that his life depends on Ram's survival. So yeah, what did you make of the cliffhanger to this episode?
Okay, first I'll say I love Patch this episode. I love when he gives away the ghost in front. I just love it. His performance was so natural, and I'm like, they need to let Patch raise his voice more often. They need to let him get upset more often because I love it. It was great, beautiful. Love the chemistry between him and Dee. Thought it was great. I even kind of like this plot point of Java being like, oh, he works at the hospital. I need help. All that's great. But I don't believe for a second that Ram does not have at least one techno who understands medical matters. I don't believe that. I'm
He
sorry.
has
That is
Tyson.
not freaking
Yep.
possible that
Agreed.
he doesn't have somebody with those skills on his roster. There's just no way that there isn't a single techno in there that Ram recruited who isn't good with medicines or knows would be able to help here. And that Java would be aware of this person. I don't believe he wouldn't have a personal doctor. You know what I mean? So the fact that she has to scour the city and Patch is the only person she knows in the entire city with these skill set, I don't buy that for a second. So as much as I enjoy him and this little plot point for him is cool, I'm gonna give Patch something to do. Yay! I don't buy that this would be her resort. Like this is what she'd have to do.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
It just doesn't make sense.
And no, it doesn't. And I think, Sabine, you were saying something about Tyson.
They have Tyson.
Yeah, they do.
And the Technos are smart enough to figure out what people's skills are, what their qualities are of the people they've captured. Someone like Tyson would make it known that she can heal people because she could not stand people being, ill, injured without help.
Yeah, but season 5 seems to make it. Season 5 tries to make it seem like Ram didn't have anything to do with Tyson. She was Mega's private project.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what you're saying. The point
Yeah,
is, there's
but
no way that Ram wouldn't have sussed out somebody who could help with him with this stuff. Especially someone who, like,
yeah,
his introduction is there's dust on a mirror. You know, I hate that kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you've got that kind of phobia.
Mm-hmm.
You have somebody on your roster who can help you, especially if you're
yeah,
taking this baton of medications. I don't buy that there is anyone there to take care of this or help him.
Like, he has all this technology. The first thing he would have made sure he had was, well, I don't know, the medical encyclopedia? Some form of, like, if you're playing with AI and all that, you find you make your own doctor.
yeah.
It's
I mean, could we have potentially even had something where, it's revealed that it was actually Siva was the one who gave Ram not just the neck rubs, but also all of his medications? She was the one who did
But
that, not
why wouldn't
Java.
Java
Yeah,
just
would
go
have.
back and kidnap her sister then?
Well, yeah, I mean,
There's
that's a good
nothing that would stop
question.
Java from
But,
doing that. If Siva was the one who took care of his medications, Java would storm them all and force Siva to come back. She'd have her kidnapped.
we can't do that though, because that would give Siva something to do other than be Lex's girlfriend and cook for people.
No, we can't have that.
Yeah, Siva's stuck being a trad
No,
wife
I mean,
until next season.
yeah, let's be honest, we've got someone who's shown that she's a hell of a fighter, and we don't take her on a raid. We leave her at home
You
with the
guys, she
kids.
had muffins in the oven, okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
well, there we go then.
this girl has a zapper, and they're not utilizing it.
Yep.
That's actually sad that I didn't even realize that. They didn't take
How is-
Siva.
Siva, look, you guys, Siva is working on a sourdough starter. That is serious business, okay?
That's funny. I didn't realize that.
She doesn't have time for your little raid.
Wow.
But it's, yeah.
And remember, guys, everything we just saw won't matter. It doesn't matter. I just want you to remember
Nothing
that. I want
matters.
none of this actually matters. Patch being kidnapped and his life threatened doesn't matter. You know, the heist, everything, it doesn't matter. Because guess what? Ram's not actually sick or dying, guys.
I mean, this is the one you can completely skip,
I mean,
and it won't make any
if you
difference.
don't care about the plot, you might find some stuff entertaining. Like some people can, I can't. I'm not one of those people. I want what I'm watching to have consequence. So it couldn't be me, but other people don't seem to care if the plot makes sense when it all comes together at the end. As long as they had fun, I guess. I mean,
Mm.
at least stuff happens this episode. I mean, none of it matters, but it happens. So maybe it's better than some of the other episodes where nothing happened.
Hmm.
We got some cool camera shots. You could see Costa was behind the camera. There were some interesting angles that for some of the shots that were a little creative. It's not his best work. We've seen his best work back in season 2, but I noticed the difference, the coverage he was managing to get. So there's that.
Yeah.
I'll admit I was a little worried about Patch first time I saw this because I did like him. And I still, at least back then, I thought, oh gosh, what's going on with
Mm.
Ram? Is Patch gonna stick to his principles? Or what's gonna happen? I didn't want anything to happen to Patch.
Can you imagine, though, what this scene would have been like if we hadn't lost Dal?
I don't have the energy. So
Yeah. I mean,
Dal would have been massacred by
Yeah.
this time too. We wouldn't like Dal either.
Yeah.
Like that's what season 4 would have done.
No.
We wouldn't like him either. We'd be like, why didn't they kill him off past season ago or something?
Yeah, true.
why did you just stay on the farm?
Right. You know me. You know how I am. If they kept Dal around and they massacred his character this season, I'd be like, he should have died when he fell off that building back in season 3.
Yeah, it feels like the only ones that are going to get out of this alive with any sort of reputation intact are the ones that weren't actually in this season at all. Right?
Oh.
They got out when the going was good.
I think the only one that might get away through this season is Jack.
Yeah, there's
He's not here though, is he?
There's exactly.
was at
That's
the
why.
beginning.
That's why he makes it out of the season so well. He was
Yeah.
he was
No,
barely
he's not
in it.
here.
But
He's not here. They're all going to do really well.
Okay, so let's only judge the characters who are here. And I would say like 4 of them
Right.
come out fine, despite having to live through this. And that's gonna be Mouse,
Yeah.
Patch, D.
Yeah.
Maybe only 3 of them. So, so we can say that of those characters, and they're around for most of the season, they're the only ones who you could say are not destroyed. Like you still like them from when you met them till the end.
Yeah. But
Yep.
is that
And Patch-
because they're new arrival?
I know
Because we've got no yards
clearly
to measure them against.
no. Clearly that's not it because that's all season 4 is new
No.
arrivals. Come on. Tons of
Wow.
new arrivals who do not make it through the season unscathed.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
No.
That is true.
Now, granted, they
No.
don't give Patch and D and Mouse a ton to do of consequence, and so maybe
No.
it's because they don't have to do much heavy lifting through the season. But neither does Sammy, and I can't say that he makes it through this season unscathed as a character. He's pretty wibbly wobbly. Sammy survives by merit of Mouse, his attachment to her. That's what
Yeah.
makes his character work. But without Mouse,
Yeah.
would Sammy work on his own? Would you like Sammy on his own without Mouse? Come on,
Would you
So-
have any feelings towards them at all?
Exactly, So yeah, I'd say Patch D and Mouse are the only ones who are in the majority of the season who make it out without you being like, you know what? Okay. You're just like, okay, you guys make sense. You make sense. Do the whole thing. I'm fine with it. It's cool. You were not butchered.
And I mean, like, D and Patch especially, because they don't even come back, like, spoiler, they don't come back for season 5, so they don't even get a chance to get rinsed out then. They're just gone,
They were like, bye.
which is great for them.
They made a smart
After-
choice.
They made their smart choice. They got the frick out of that mall to go have a happy ending. Because you cannot have one in the mall.
I'd also say that Patch and D in this have kind of transcended the characters that they're kind of replacements for.
Yeah, they're their own people.
I felt that in this. I felt like they were their own people. They're not just placeholders for Jack and Dal and the placeholder for Alice and Ellie. They felt real.
Honestly,
Their chemistry felt real.
I could use more Patch and D.
Yeah.
They have such
Yeah.
small moments, but I enjoy those small moments. I just give me like a 20-minute, spin-off of just Patch and D, like a little Mork and Mindy show about these two and their like low stakes adventures. I could watch that.
Same here.
We don't get enough of those two together. Instead, we get too much of everybody.
Yeah.
That brings Series 4, Episode 40 to a close. Thank you very much to the panel. and you can show your support by clicking on that like and subscribe and following us on all the major platforms. You can also leave us a comment or get in touch if you'd like to take part in a future episode of the podcast yourself. Just search for The Tribe.uk or Conversations on Eagle Mountain. You can also throw us a donation. Just head on over to buymeacoffee.com/thetribe.co.uk. And we'll see you next time for episode 41. Until then, bye.
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 Bye.